I'm delighted to be joined by our good friend Pratik Thakar, who's the Vice President of Content and Creative Excellence at Coca-Cola for Asia Pacific. Coke and Ogilvy have been working together for over 10 years. We've done some of our most iconic and proud creative work together. And actually over the last year and 2 years, we've been developing into the social and content creation space and done some really great work in particularly the ASEAN region. So I wanted to talk to Pratik today about what Coca-Cola's content agenda is and what their plans are for creating great iconic work in the future. Pratik, thank you so much for joining us. It's such a pleasure to have you here. You've just stood up at Social Matters and you've given a great presentation about Coke's content agenda. But you described Coke as a creative marketing company rather than a beverage company, which was quite interesting. Can you talk a bit more about what you meant by that?
Yeah. So when I went to Atlanta for my onboarding, they told us that look, Coca-Cola is not a marketing university. Here, people don't come here to just learn marketing, but here you come to do your best work. And that's amazing twist on the way many other companies look at them as a marketing university or institute. And Coca-Cola, basically, they say that, look, we are not in the business of products. We are not in a business of, we are in a business of brands, connecting people, owning that cultural leadership platform and opening happiness. And that's where you understand that Coca-Cola, the way company looks at the DNA, it's very different than a lot of other companies, and that's where it's a true marketing platform rather than a corporate giant who tries to sell the products and beverages or different kind of products. Yeah.
So as a company, you're looking to build brands that people love and care about, and that's about creating content that transcends the simple product story.
Right.
Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Right. You also talked about Coke's view on content today and how to engage the consumers. Can you talk a bit more about that?
Yeah.
Now?
So a few years back, actually, our system we built it up this thing called liquid and linked communication. Communication liquid because it spreads on its own, and linked because it's integrated. What we did in Asia Pacific, we looked at liquid, linked, and we added one more part, which is a live. So topical, more spontaneous. What's going on right now? What's tweeting right now? What people are chatting on Facebook, and create content and put it online and be part of the popular culture. So that's what is kind of our take on social media or content creation or listening and publishing and all those things which people talk about. Our take is that, and that's where you see a lot of content which is coming out, including Ogilvy has developed a lot of stuff which is relevant to particular situation and social tensions or social undercurrents, and that's what we think it works very well for brands like Coca-Cola, because you are not selling a beverage, you are selling a much larger platform, and you're connecting people with something which is most relevant to them and what is on their top of mind.
So actually, as a marketing organization, you've had to change loads then in order to be able to adapt to that new flexible and modern dynamic landscape.
Yeah, we need to behave like a newsroom, right? So in a newsroom, you have breaking stories. In newsroom, you have documentaries. In newsroom, you have a regular news and different features. So we have to behave like, and we have to tell our stories from that angle.
And actually, Coke have led the agenda on that by setting up your CICs, which is your Coke Intelligence Centers across Asia. You said they're in 19 markets, is that right? That you have them set up, and I know that Ogilvy works with you and ASEAN on those as well.
Right.
How does the company use those to infiltrate and integrate the work that you're doing, the creative work?
So it's, again, what I see that's going to be, it's right now and it's going to be work in progress, right? Because the scene is changing so fast. So it started up as a listening center, that we need to listen what people are talking. Then we said, okay, we need to listen and publish. Then we said, okay, we need to listen, publish, engage. So we are learning. We are in constant mode of learning tweaking our objectives and agenda around those social centers. But same time, it's a great platform for FIFA. We had a partnership with Twitter, and we had a Twitter war room throughout FIFA. So whatever is going, how you put a Coke spin to it and immediately tweet about it and create content, and so that becomes kind of, as I said, it's kind of a newsroom from Coca-Cola, looking at what's happening, and then you publish and engage.
And is there any creative work that you've seen from the Coca-Cola company in Asia Pacific in the last year that is of that ilk, of that light, that you're particularly proud of?
Is so our Indonesia office, they took our global FIFA song, and they recreated it for the social center publishing purpose. It became a huge hit.
Actually, they did a mashup, didn't they? They kind of changed it a little bit to make it work.
Yeah,
for the
so
market.
they used local artists to sing that song, and they used the same tunes and music, and they shot it with some a local artist. It worked so well, and that's where it's kind of a local creativity comes together. It connects with the local, and that becomes the top on the music chart, top song for that particular week.
The Coca-Cola brand is the most iconic brand in the world, and because of that, it's been carefully guarded by the company for 125 years to ensure that it retains its integrity. But in today's modern marketing landscape, do you think that the company can still behave like that, or are there plans to be a bit different?
So I would say yes, it's guarded in terms of brand. Yes, everyone is so much conscious about how we want to preserve this great icon. But same time, Coca-Cola has always been open to collaboration, working with artists in creating Santa Claus Red. And they were not Coke employees. Basically, they were the outside artists who worked with us. Same way, creating a bottle design I was mentioning in the presentation. So those briefs went out, and we invited people to collaborate and say, hey, we are looking for a new design for the bottle. That was like 100 years back, but that worked for us. So if you see those examples, it's part of the culture. It's part of the culture. Right now, collaboration is something where you have to take a risk and say, hey, I give you brand, and you tell me how you want to tell your story using assets of this brand, and that's a collaboration. That's kind of an invitation to play with those assets and telling that person's story, what he wanted to anyways tell.
It's just such a brilliant example for the marketing world that a brand like Coca-Cola can be confident enough to be able to say to creative collaborators, please take our brand and make of it what you want.
Yeah.
And I think that is a really, really great example to set for the industry. Pratik, thank you so much for joining us. We've heard from Pratik today about the importance of having a great storytelling agenda, listening to what our consumers are thinking and responding to in trends in the modern world, and then identifying those trends and applying it to the creative work to create work that people care about. And Coke continues its storytelling agenda today and for the future, and something that Ogilvy and Coke are very proud to be working together on. So thank you very much, Pratik.
Thank you.